Welcome to the Talk Unmentionables podcast, an inclusive space for real, unfiltered conversations about topics we often shy away from. From confronting imposter syndrome and redefining your professional brand to navigating the complexities of marriage and parenthood to coping with grief. Each episode explores life's unmentionables with openness, empathy, and authenticity. This is a space where honesty meets growth. Welcome back to the Talk Unmentionables podcast. I'm your host, Deniece Daniels, and today we're diving into the topic of raising multiples, a blessing that comes with unique joys and equally unique challenges that often go unspoken. In this episode, we'll explore how parenting multiples can impact identity and how caregivers can reclaim their sense of self. I'm joined by Chauncey Davenport, a finance professional, husband, and a father of 6-year-old twin girls. Chauncey is deeply involved in raising his girls, and as they've grown more independent, he and his wife of 12 years have been intentional about reconnecting as partners while also rediscovering their own individual sense of self along the way. Chauncey, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to be on your podcast, too. I'm glad for your platform. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm really excited for you to be here because this is a topic that's really close to my heart. When I introduce myself, I always say I have twin boys. So this is very personal to me, and I'm really excited to have you here. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of how to raise multiples, there's no right or no wrong way, but going back to that day when you and your wife found out that you were having twins, what was that moment like for you and for your wife when they made that announcement?
So I'll tell this story. I've told the story ad nauseum. It was like maybe late December, and my wife was going to lunch with a friend of hers. And that morning she woke up and she was just brutally sick. I mean, just throwing up all over the place, couldn't keep anything down. It was rough. I was like, what was wrong with you? And we had started trying, but we didn't think it was going to happen that fast. I was like, you should still go out with your friend because you haven't seen her in a while. She goes out with the friend and she's throwing up in lunch. And the friend is like, I think you're pregnant. You should take a pregnancy test when you get home. Comes home, takes a pregnancy test, right away, said pregnant. So fast forward, we get a doctor's appointment maybe like a month later in like January. And we get in the ultrasound room, and there's 2 screens up there. And I'm a little confused, because I'm like, why we got 2 screens? And the doctor comes in, make a long story short, the doctor comes in and says, no wonder you're so sick, Kenesha. You're having twins. And she turns on each ultrasound screen, and there's baby A and baby B right there. So to answer your question about the emotions at that moment, I'm not going to curse on your podcast, but what both of our response was. We were excited, nervous, scared. I think my leg went numb for a little bit. It was just like, because we only wanted one child. We never wanted more than one child.
All together?
All together. We only wanted, because we're both only children. We only wanted one child, just wanted one. And twins on the first try. Yeah. Crazy. So the emotions were all over the place, but it was exciting at the same time. Yeah.
Very similar story. I'm not going to get into my details, but all the similar emotions, the baby A, the baby B. I'm like, what is baby A and B? And that is... I
had never heard of a baby A and baby B till that day.
Yeah, same. Yep. So after finding out that you were having twins, what did it look like for you and your wife getting ready to welcome your daughters?
My first thought was, we had two sedans at the time. We need a stroller. We need the best car seats. And we need to figure out which guest bedroom is going to be their nursery. And once you choose that, what changes need to happen in the room? New carpet, paint, light fixture. Yeah. That's kind of where my mind went. And my wife's as well. And then, of course, you got the other side of it was, what location I'm going to have a baby shower at? What's baby shower registry? all those different things that come once you find out you're getting married or once you find out you're having a child. But I went straight to logistical.
Yeah. So you jumped right into action.
I jumped right in.
You made the registry that day.
She made the registry that day. Actually, I wouldn't be. It probably was like a day or two later where she actually started the registry. But that night, I started car shopping.
Yeah.
That was my first thing. It's
Okay.
I gotta get a car. So any dad out there, when you're about to have multiples, the very first thing, if you don't have the right vehicle, that's where I would start as dad. But that's just my unsolicited advice.
So on the vehicle, did you decide to do SUV or van?
No offense to the van owners. I couldn't do the van. I couldn't do the van. We were SUV.
Yeah.
Third row SUV.
Same. I don't know if I could ever transition to the van, even though I see the practicality to a van, but I just haven't found one that's sporty enough for me.
We rented one to go to my mother-in-law's down in North Carolina, and it was nice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name the brand, but it was nice, but I couldn't do it every day.
Yeah.
But it's functional. Button, touch here, door opens, all these different things, but I couldn't try them anyway.
Okay. All right. Let me know. You might change your mind one day. Once they get into all the
maybe
sports
so. It's possible. And I'm getting older. I'm not worried about being cool as much as I did in the past. So I might get a minivan one day.
Yeah.
You never know.
All right. We'll see who gets one first. It won't be me. So as a twin mom myself, as I mentioned, I know it's safe to say that once your girls arrived, everything changed really quickly. And with that in mind, can you start with those early days? What were they really like? Bringing 2 newborns home and adjusting to life as a parent of twins?
That's a loaded question. The first thing comes to mind is a blur. So that first month was literally a blur. When you're in a hospital, it's like a honeymoon phase. The nurses wait on your hand and foot. Mom can give babies back for a little bit if she needs a break. But when you take off from that hospital and you're headed home, it's all on you guys at that point. So that was I would say a harsh reality, but just like, ooh, this is just us now. It's all on us. So we get home. We love our dog. His name is Tucker. He's a Boston Terrier. We had to introduce them to the dog, introduce them. And really, it was just sleep deprived. If I'm answering your question, it was my wife had a C-section, which is major surgery. So mom can't necessarily move around much. And we got these 2 new humans who are regulating our schedule at this point. So sleeping, I was on overnight duty. So bottle warming and, sleep schedule. And I don't really remember it. I just remember being tired.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's it. It's just,
I can so relate. We had them in a swaddle, and they both had a pacifier. So whenever they fell asleep, the pacifier would fall out. So they would start crying. We had to run in there. I was like, we cannot do this anymore. It was horrible. And so I got served an ad to do a sleep training. I went on that class. They offered every week, and there would just be parents on there, whether they had multiples or singletons, just asking questions. And the woman, I don't remember what this woman's name was, but she gave such good guidance, and it was just like real. So my boys were maybe like 4 months old, and for my example was, I need to get rid of the pacifier. This is my situation.
Yeah, we had some of that.
And she was just like, just take it away, rip the Band-Aid off. And I was like, okay, that made me feel better because it didn't make me feel like I was doing something unkind to my children. And she's like, I'm going to be honest with you. The first 2 to 3 days are going to be horrible. But the younger that you do these kind of things, the quicker they're going to adjust.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I don't have pets, but I want to go back to that because people do have pets. How did you do that introduction, and was he receptive?
He was very receptive. He's a big brother. He was looking like, what are these things here? And then when they were born, we were there for about 5 more days. So we would take some of their clothing every day home. I would, and let them sniff it, let them get used to it. So when they got home, he kind of knew, like, okay, this is what I've been sensing these past few days. He was very gentle. He was very just curious, honestly. But he's their big brother, and they love on him every day to this day. If I could, I'd show so many pictures of how He's licking their face, licking their feet,
Yeah.
licking their hands. It was great. It was
Good.
great. That was one of the highlights, actually, of bringing them home. Now that you mentioned this, we're in the midst of all the stress and the sleep deprivation, and that relationship with him just kind of playing big brother was actually really cool to watch.
And that idea about having the clothes and bringing them home and having them smell that, was that something that was recommended to you or just something that came to you?
It was recommended. Our
Okay.
vet recommended, because our vet knew that we were getting ready to have children, and he said, "This is what you do." And so we would just, whatever they would stay in that outfit, for however long, take it off of them, go home, let them sniff it. And we just do that for like 3 or 4 days in a row. I was going from the hospital back home, hospital back home. And so it really worked, though. So any dog owners out there, it's helpful.
I love that. I have one other question around this, because you're getting my mind going and having me remember things. You said you were at the hospital 5 days. So were either of your girls in the NICU?
No.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Okay.
I think Casey was 5.9 pounds, and I think Cameron was 6.1 or something like that. But they came out extremely healthy. She carried to 37 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, she really did a great job. Like, shout out to her. She did a great job carrying them. And thanks be to God for just allowing a safe pregnancy. But
one of my boys was in the NICU for 9 days. That was interesting too, bringing one home and having the other one there.
Okay.
I was nursing. I was staying home with Dominic. We brought Dominic home first.
Okay.
And then DeMarco would go and see Donovan every single day.
Got it. Okay.
And then eventually, after 9 days, we were able to bring him home. So
good. 9 days. I mean, of course, you don't want your child in NICU, but 9 days, that's not hard, especially for twins. Yeah. Okay. Did you see anything like, what am I trying to ask you? Like, and I know I'm the one being asked the questions, but that just made me think.
I'm being interviewed now.
How did you manage that emotionally? Like, you got one at home, you got one there.
Yeah, we did what we had to do.
How did you both? Yeah.
We did what we had to do. The nice thing was my mom came maybe a month before my scheduled C-section. So she was there, and that helped. So I was able to be distracted. She was able to jump in and assist. There were times that I would go, but not very frequently because, again, I was nursing. It was during COVID, too. So we were kind of used to not being able to be in certain rooms together simultaneously. So a lot of the times, DeMarco would then FaceTime me so I could see him or send videos. So there was still a way for me to be connected without physically being here.
I got it. Okay, cool. Yep. Okay.
All right, so moving on to our next question. What were some of the biggest challenges you and your wife faced during those first few months, and how did you work through them together?
Family and visitation were the biggest challenge because they're not necessarily coming to visit on the schedule that you have the children. They're offering unsolicited advice from 30, 40 years ago, or 30 some years ago. They're being critical, and not on purpose, but just being a little bit critical or judgy. My wife is irritable. C-section, postpartum starting to set in, and now you got my mother, her mother, just a bunch of family members just, of course, they're excited. They want to see the kids. They want to be around, but they're not necessarily operating on the routine we're setting. They're not necessarily being, quiet. There's certain things that I think visitation and family, you got to set some boundaries in terms of when you bring your child home and or your children home, and how you manage your visitors.
Yeah.
I mean, they mean well, but just, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
I think you're right. Boundaries are definitely tough because you want people to be a part of this. And at the same time, people that only have one child, and even people that have had multiples years ago, there's so many, for better or worse, tools and resources and recommendations and research and things of that sort. So we schedule people around their schedule. And it was tough because, some people are like, well, I can't make it. Well, then that's not your day.
Yeah, that's not your day.
So yeah, there was a bit of tension.
And going back to the day that they were born, the doctor recommended take the first day to not have any visitors. That didn't go over so well with some family members, but we stuck to it. it made that day so much more peaceful.
Yeah.
Again, no offense to family members, but it was our moment. We were able to be present with our children without the added outside of them. And they came the very next day.
Yeah.
And so going back to your original question, I would say visitation and boundary setting is probably your biggest one. And then again, sleep deprivation. If your dad, like myself, mom has a C-section, so you're taking care of mom. You got 2 individual children you're taking care of. You got a dog. The house still has to run and function. I still gotta click the bill and pay the mortgage or whatever. You still gotta eat, shower. Those first couple of days were just a conundrum of task and emotions. Yep, that's what I would say.
Boundaries and setting schedules.
And routines and schedules.
This.
Yes, routine. I forgot about that. Yes, routines and schedules. And it's hard to put a newborn on a schedule, but you gotta chunk the time out to put them on a schedule somehow. Yeah.
The biggest challenge I had was having my mom in the house. I love you, Mom. Who has had 4 children of her own. Well, don't wake a sleeping baby.
Oh, good one.
That is not going to happen here. Like, eventually, you're going to leave. DeMarco's going to go back to work. And I'm going to be here. And I'm one person. And I can't be up 24 hours a day. So just trying to get people to the understanding of there's a sleep schedule. There's a feeding schedule. Don't feed one before the other one gets fed. There were a lot of,
You took some of my talking points from me just now because I agree. Seriously, I agree wholeheartedly. You will literally run yourself ragged if you have multiples on a different schedule. So my whole thing was always sleep, feeding, playtime, and then bathroom. Bowel movements, change a diaper, things like that. And they have to do it at the same time. So I've woken up a sleeping baby of many a day.
Yeah.
You got to get up, babe. Both of y'all are waking up. You're both going to get this bottle right now. You're both going to have some tummy time or some play, whatever the case may be. Can you imagine? We have a friend of ours, really good friend. If she sees this, she know who we're referring to. She had triplets. And they're...
You see my mouth?
Yes. They're 8, I think. And she's a nurse practitioner. She was super helpful to us through pregnancy. And I just always thought to myself, how did she do this with 3, let alone 2. I mean, we were running, I was chasing my tail with 2. So again, multiples is just a schedule, rhythm, and do the same thing as you just possibly can every single day.
And don't feel bad about it.
It. Yep.
Yeah.
True.
All right. So as your girls have grown out of the newborn stage and into the toddlers, the challenges shifted in those years. So what were the toddler years like for your family, and how did parenting twins at that stage differ from the early newborn years?
It didn't really change much. There was still, going back to our previous conversation, there was still sleep, feeding, bowel movement, playtime. It's still the same rhythm. They just kind of do it differently. It's a little more spread out. They were sensing some level of independence there. Exploring. That's when you start to baby-proof the house, for example.
Yes.
That's when you start to, guard the steps, things of that nature so that they can't hurt themselves. Potty training starts to come into play, things like that. If you have a routine, even my daughters are 6, so we'll get into how it looks now, but even at 6 years old, if you have a routine that you can rely on, you can make it through. If you don't have a routine, they will dictate your pace, and you will just be like a chicken with your head cut. You just won't be able to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm laughing because I still have a timer for bedtime. And they might have it till they're 10.
Listen.
They know. It might not be we're going upstairs immediately at this point, but they know we're winding down.
Yeah, it might not be 7:45 on the dot, like how it might have been in the past. But, around 8 o'clock, it's time for you to start to go upstairs now. It's time. They know it. And if you start that rhythm early, they don't really balk at it. They just get in line, But the toddler days were fun. And if people ask me, what do I miss? Or what stage do I miss? I often say like that 1 to 2. That was fun.
Specifically, why was that fun for you?
They're little people. An infant is they're just kind of stationary. But they're running around, they're crawling, they're learning to walk, they're falling down, they're laughing, baby talk, watching TV, even though they don't really know what they're looking at. It's just, you're watching them become a little human.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. And they're daddy and they're reaching for you and they're just happy to see you. It's just fun. It's a
Yeah.
really good time at the toddler stage. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because I didn't know anybody until I went to middle school of who was a set of twins, and they were my friends. So I just was always under the impression that they're immediately going to be friends, they're going to be bonded for life. And that wasn't the case. Once they were mobile and crawling and rolling around, one would be on one side of the room, one would be on the other side of the room. And I'm saying all this because I'm wondering if it was the same for you. And I was just like, when are they going to act like they're friends or siblings?
No, we dealt with something similar. I think it's all of it's about exploration at that point. So he's exploring what's over there. He's exploring what's over there. And my daughters are the same. They are inseparable, but they have their moments when they were little as well as now, where they have their little individual moments. And that's when you realize that I won't say society, but people will forever lump them as the twins, the boys, the girls. But they're two individual people. And in those small moments, you kind of realize, like, well, there's nothing wrong with that. If she wants to play over there with that toy, go ahead. And you want to play, you're an individual person.
Yeah.
But they're still inseparable. So that's been and even to today, want to go play with this or want to go watch this. And, however many moments go by, they'll eventually say, where's Casey? Where's Cameron? So they always, that magnetic draw is always going to be there with multiples. But I do like that they go on their own sometimes. Yep.
Yeah. For you, it seemed like, okay, this is normal. For me, I was just dumbfounded. And I was just like, I don't understand this. And it took till they were about 3. And I started, or almost 3, I would say 2.5. I'm like, okay, they like each other. And so I was reading up on it. And, I'm really big about reading and learning. I'm saying it because I don't want people that are having multiples to have this false expectation that they're automatically going to be built-in playmates. Like, they're still siblings. They have to get to know each other.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Yes, they are still siblings. And they're getting, at that age, we're going through toddler phase, they're getting to know themselves. My hands do this stuff. My feet do this. I can see stuff. So they're learning as individuals, and they're 2 individual people. They eventually have 2 individual, interests and things like that. And so, as a twin, as a multiple parent, you probably do have to kind of put it in your mind, like, they're not just going to be best friends just like that.
Yeah.
Like, they probably will eventually, but
Yep.
it's just not going to happen all day, every day.
Yeah. Just trying to set expectations for people.
Exactly. Temporary expectations.
Yeah. So how did you and your wife approach discipline, daily routines, and honoring your children's individuality during the toddler years?
During the toddler years. So fortunately, if Casey and Cameron ever watched this 10 years down the road, they were very good babies. So in terms of discipline, we were in good shape. And we were on the same page with discipline. So we didn't really have to. So that's a good thing. Routine stayed the same. I've been mentioning that, throughout. The only thing that changed during the toddler years was just our fear that they might hurt themselves. Like stove or different things where you can reach for things or get into things. But outside of that, it didn't change much.
Yeah.
Not for us, at least.
Good. Well, that makes it a little bit more practical.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't change much.
So looking back, what do you think helped you stay grounded or at least afloat during the toddler years?
A good bottle of wine.
What would you recommend? What is your go-to wine?
I am typically a Cabernet person. If not, I'm going to do a Scotch. And so I will say that nice libation every now and then wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, staying grounded, it was overwhelming at times. So therapy was helpful for me. It was helpful for my wife. Not that we were going crazy, but it could be helpful to have someone that you could talk to and talk through some of the challenges that you're experiencing. Staying grounded was like prayer, therapy, and trying not to blame each other when we're both just tired. Because I didn't do anything to you. You didn't do anything to me. We're just tired. Giving each other that sort of grace and recognition that you're not doing anything wrong. You're actually doing a pretty good job. It just kind of sucks right now. I hate to say it, but we'll get through it. Then it wasn't perfect. Don't get me. I know that was a good answer. And it was an honest answer, but it wasn't perfect every day. We butted heads and things like that, but it was really just kind of staying prayed up, staying in therapy, and trying to remember that we're on the same team.
Okay.
Yep.
So going to therapy, did you all start that early on once you had the girls, or was it as they were getting older? So
It was as they were getting, so I've always, been in therapy in and out. I was very much more intentional about, I'm dealing with some, not really mental health issue. I'm just stressed.
Yeah.
I'm just tired and stressed and overwhelmed and like just overloaded. One of the big buzzwords is overstimulated, but I was seriously like overstimulated like 24/7. And so I was very fortunate to have a good therapist, but I knew I needed to go.
Yeah.
I needed to go. It was no question. So I saw a therapist once a week, just to dip my thoughts out.
Yeah.
Yep, just get my thoughts out.
Good. And then I also love that you all paused and were one another's support system and cheerleader, just like, today's a tough day and I'm not taking this out on you. We're doing the best that we can.
The best we can. Yep.
Yeah, I love that you all would pause and say, oh, that might have not came out the right way.
And I just want to be clear. It was not perfect every day.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't always get it right, but there was a grounding of sorts that, like, we got to come back and just, we all in this together.
They're not going anywhere.
We all in this together. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so fast forward to today. Your girls are 6 now, and you spent several years growing, learning, and navigating life as a father of twins. What does parenting twin girls look like in this season of life, and how is it different from the early stages?
The older they get, the more independent they become, the more time you get back. So that's sort of my first answer to it. You still have to be hands-on, but you're far less hands-on at 6 than you are at 6 weeks or 6 months. I've been able to kind of come back to myself, and their independence makes your life just so much easier. I mean, down to getting this morning, before I came to you, down to, Case, go put your pants on, go put your socks on. Cam, go wash your face, brush your teeth. Just last year, I couldn't tell them to do that, and they could do it the right way, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that level of independence gives parents, it's a weight off your shoulders a little bit. It really is.
You're giving me hope.
I am telling you, you're getting there. I'm telling you, you're getting there.
And I'm just like, okay.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. About 6, we see it already. At 6 years old, they can do their homework. I mean, we just have to check it.
Yeah.
They can pull their homework out their folder, write their name, start the work. You're hungry, go to the cabinet and get yourself a snack. You're thirsty, go in the refrigerator without spilling anything. Little stuff. It's not really the big stuff. It's, they can turn on Netflix by themselves and turn on a movie that they want to see. Like, it's little that makes, again, trying to give more recent examples. Just the other night, the girls were upstairs watching whatever they're watching on their iPads and TV. And my wife was downstairs in the basement watching whatever TV show she was watching. And I went downstairs and sat with her for about 10, 15 minutes, uninterrupted. That little bit of connection was great. Like, and they didn't come down and bother. They were in their own worlds, minding their business. They weren't messing up anything. So the older they get, the easier it becomes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to hold
you. Hold me to it. So I say,
you
hold me to it. I'm telling you. We can circle back, as they say. I'm telling you, you're going to you were right.
Yeah. As your girls have grown more independent, how have you and your wife begun to reconnect as partners, and how have you begun to rediscover your own sense of identity beyond being a dad?
So as an aside, I will say we have a really nice village. We had a nanny who was there full-time, and now she just comes whenever we need her. My mom is super hands-on. My mother-in-law, even though she's in D.C., she comes up whenever she needs to. So the village really, really plays a part. I say that to say they're older, they're more independent. You can just give them to somebody in the village. They don't have to do much. Feed them, make sure their iPads are charged, whatever the case may be, and they're just largely just kind of chill out. That's made it easier for us to have date nights. We've tried to we do one every month, but we try to get 2 date nights, and vacation has been, we went to Mexico last year and the year before, and it was bliss. Yeah. It was like back in the old days before they got here. We really have enjoyed ourselves past 3 years. A vacation, and then staycations. Well, my mother-in-law's in D.C. We'll drop the girl, going back to the village point. We'll drop them off at her house, do a little staycation in D.C., go back to pick them up, come home. Yeah. So just being able to spend time together outside of the kids is really, really helpful. Because, I mean, there were, moments where you're like, I don't know, man. This is rough. Like, this is getting brutal. Taking vacations, staycations, even date nights has just, oh God, it has been, it has worked wonders for us. In terms of me individually, I love dirt bikes.
Okay.
I bought me a new bike. Yeah. I've been riding dirt bikes since I was little. So I bought a new bike when they were 4. Yeah, I bought a new bike. So my uncle and I would get out and ride every now and then when we can. I love to read, but I mean, that's still a good thing. We can get time to, I like to actually turn the page so you can get focus time to sit and turn the page.
Rediscovering things that you enjoyed
Exactly.
in the
That's all I'm really
past.
getting at. It's
But then
just
also,
things.
have you started taking on some new things?
No, you know, it's funny. My wife made a joke to me yesterday. It's funny you asked me that. She's like, you don't have any new hobbies. You need a hobby. I was like, I'm fine. I'm good. So no, to answer your question, no, I haven't necessarily taken on anything new, but in the context of this conversation, I now have the space to, if I discover whatever.
And that's just nice.
Yes, to have the space to. Yes, yep.
Do your girls do dirt bikes?
Getting close. Casey's for sure. Cameron, maybe not, but Case will definitely be interested. Yes.
And I see the smile. You're excited about it.
I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. I can't wait. But they're in, they do soccer and gymnastics.
Okay.
And I think Casey might take an interest in the dirt bikes, but Cameron might too. You never know. We'll see. But I'm certainly going to try.
Yeah.
Certainly gonna try.
Okay. And mom's open to that.
To be continued.
Okay.
To be continued.
All right. So as we begin to wrap up this conversation, I want to shift toward the practical side of your journey of raising multiples. For parents who are preparing to welcome multiples, or parents who are in the thick of raising multiples and maybe feeling overwhelmed right now, what practical advice would you give them?
I don't know if it's going to be practical, and I don't want it to sound cliche, but I will start by saying, give yourself some grace. You're not going to get it right. You're going to feel stressed. It's normal. You're going to feel overwhelmed. It's normal. You're going to feel like your partner and you're drifting apart. It's normal. So that's my very first answer is just give yourself some grace. Give yourself some time. Give yourself a break. Outside of that, practical, rely on the village like I already talked about. People that you trust, let them take the children away. Give yourself that break. Don't be the helicopter parent. Don't be the helicopter parent that has to police everything that that the village is doing. Just let them go. As long as they feed them, let them use the bathroom, and they keep them alive, you bought yourself 2 or 3 hours. Like, you don't just let people that you trust, you trust, just let them have it. If you do it a certain way, and dad does it differently, but dad is giving you a break, let him do it, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Try to get back to the things you like to do. Even if you only got 5 minutes to do it, we kind of talk about it. Yeah, whatever your hobby, whatever you're interested in, it grounds you back down to say, okay, this is life. My life isn't just these 2 or these 3 or these 4 children. I do have other things that add to me, and try to do some of those things. More practical, routine. Even at 6 years old, they know their routine. So they know what, and the older they get, they know what's coming. It makes life a little bit easier because they know it's coming. I know I got to get ready to take a bath. I know I got to get ready to, do my homework. I know when I first get home, I can't have my iPad because I have to do my homework. Routine is going to be your best friend. And again, if you need somebody to talk to, see a therapist, a close confidant that you trust to get some of those emotions out of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what are some tools and routines or resources that were especially helpful for you and your wife along the way? Books, communities, you mentioned therapy.
I would probably say, granted, my children are 6, so anyone that has newborns now, information changes so fast. But YouTube was a really big help for me in terms of watching videos on parents bringing kids home, watching videos on dads installing car seats, the specific car seat that we had into the car, books on what to expect from your partner in terms of their vitals, high blood pressure, all the different things that your partner might be going through. You're not a doctor, but when you get into those doctor's visits, you can be a little bit dangerous. And you at least know, you can hear what they're saying and kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. You can be a little bit dangerous.
You can be a little bit dangerous, like just a little bit dangerous. Not that I can't tell her to do a job, but I'm like, that don't sound right based upon what I read. Another, dads, do your best to make every doctor's appointment. It really helps you understand what your partner is going through, understand what the baby is going through, what to expect when baby comes out. It's really, really, really helpful. And it also shows your partner that you are in the journey with them. And be intentional about it. Like once a day, 30 minutes I'm going to read about this thing.
Do you have a particular book that you remember reading that stuck out?
Not a particular book that I remember reading, but I do remember 2 topics that were very helpful, which was pre-birth, so what mom is going through, and then potty training. So those 2 books.
I have a book too, and I don't remember what it's called.
I don't remember the name, but if those 2 topics, you can make it work. Yeah.
That book, I wish I remembered it off the top of my head, and I don't want to misspeak, but I recommended it to multiple people, and they were like, "This is the truth."
And if I find it, maybe I'll send it to you if you want to tag it too. But I don't I can't recall the name, but those were the topics. Yep, those were the topics.
I'm just glad we're out of potty training. That was an interesting time.
That was brutal. Yeah.
We're not gonna.
Yeah, we're not.
That's
you took me to a bad.
I know.
To a bad space just now.
You and me both. Okay, so my final question: what's one practical piece of advice you wish someone had given you about raising multiples while still holding on to your own sense of self?
That's actually a very good question. I'll never forget. We were out at dinner, Texas Roadhouse, one of my favorite places to go to. We're out at dinner, and we're coming out, and we've got the double-sized stroller, and we're pushing it. And this couple was walking towards us, and they have identical twin girls that are 16. We've got these, 8-month-olds or whatever. And dad, mom's talking to mom, dad's talking to me. He said, the days are long, but the years go by really, really fast. So I keep that quote in my mind when I'm like stressed. It really grounds me like, okay, try to be present even in this moment of homework. Try to be present even in this moment where she's crying and she needs you, she needs your touch. Like try to, even though it's stressful, it could be annoying or frustrating, being present in those moments has kept me grounded. I take a lot of pictures. Another thing someone told me, take a crap ton of pictures. I have so many. I have more pictures than my wife, I think. Take a lot of pictures because you can relive those memories. Outside of anything else that I've already mentioned, the older they get, I just see my time coming back. I see my energy coming back. And no offense to my wife and my daughters, but my interests are coming back like outside of them. Have I nailed down what that thing is yet? No. And it's fun to kind of just explore. Life is good. It's fun kind of just exploring what's next. But I've been able to come back to myself just simply as they've gotten older.
Yeah.
Yep. Time sometimes does.
I'm holding you to that one too. Time. This was such a good conversation. It made me reflect and relive moments that I really cherish and some that I'm just thankful they're over. But I appreciate your honesty, transparency, and just the perspective that you have as a father that's very involved in your children's day-to-day. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. I had fun. Thank you.
To our listeners, if you're parenting multiples and feeling stretched thin or overwhelmed, I want you to know you're not failing. You're navigating something uniquely demanding, and it's okay to make space for yourself along the way. Reclaiming pieces of who you are outside of parenting does not take away from your children. It strengthens you for them. Stay tuned for the next episode and visit talkunmentionablesmedia.com to learn about my consulting services. Until next time. Whether you're seeking guidance for your business, your team, or your own professional development and personal growth, I would love to work with you one-on-one to help you achieve your goals and bring your vision to life.